Okay, so now we are recording. So I think we can start. Um, so welcome everybody. My name is Shahan Savaş Karataşlı. So I will be teaching this course. You already saw a very short introduction video. I said hi, and this is our course. I was hoping to do this kind of introduction previous Monday, but that was a holiday, so that's why it's bizarre. You watch something, and now I'm introducing the course with the syllabus, etc. But I didn't want to confuse you by making another live lecture another day, because as I will explain in a second, I think this kind of routine is very important. You will understand the routine. That's why I didn't want to change it, okay? So every week is a particular structure that I will explain. But before we go on to that, I went over your discussions. All of you introduced yourselves. It was great to read and to get to know you. Actually, you don't get to know a person by reading a couple of paragraphs and sentences, but actually it means a lot because it tells me how diverse a group we are, and you are actually you all did a great job in introducing yourselves and giving. Talking about some fun facts or something interesting about you, which makes it fun to read, and also about your concerns about this course, the expectations about this course. So that gave me lots of interesting ideas. So I will first start also introducing myself. I'm actually relatively new to UNCG. This is my third year at UNCG, but I have been teaching this course for more than 8-9 years now. I have taught this course, data analysis and statistics course, in my previous institutions too. I've worked as an assistant professor and as a lecturer and in other forms in many other institutions. I worked at Johns Hopkins University, I worked at Princeton, I worked at some universities in Turkey, I taught at some universities in Italy. So I teach many other things. I don't simply teach statistics and data analysis. I teach courses about globalization, social movements, nationalism. I teach courses about global inequality, and compared to historical sociology too. So I teach a variety of things, but I have been teaching this course for a long time. So this is not new for me. What is new for me, relatively new for me, is teaching these courses online. Okay, so a fun fact about me is I hate online courses. So I don't like taking online courses. I don't like teaching online courses, but it is what it is. So, and I was happy that, I taught this course online last semester. And also in March 2020, when the pandemic started in the United States, when we all moved online as the UNCG, I also was teaching this course, so we also moved online. So, I had some experience about teaching this course online. Now, this is my third semester, if you think about that. To teach a course well, actually, first, I believe that for anything, not to teach something, but for anything, first you need to do it. So first, I took a course online to see how it will go, and then I realized online courses are quite tricky. On the one hand side, there are many advantageous things about taking online courses, especially in the way that I'm scheduling it. I'm organizing it. You can organize your own schedule. Okay, I think that's good because we have all different kinds of lives. I don't know what you are dealing with in your own lives. You don't know what I'm dealing with in mine, but this is a very extraordinary period. So some of you are working in different jobs, multiple jobs. Some of you are mothers, so you need to take care of your babies, or maybe your brothers and sisters, I don't know, or your families. Some of you, some of us had very serious tragedies in this period. And even without any of these, like, this is very stressful. Right? Psychologically, we are human beings, so we are not that resilient actually. So it's difficult. So that's why the ability to be able to make your own schedule is, I think, a big advantage. So I will explain what it means. But then I think it's also a big trap. It's a big trap because I'm very confident in teaching this course face-to-face. I really would like to teach this course face-to-face because to teach, I have a particular teaching style. I need to see your eyes. Okay, so I need to understand if you understand the material or not. Okay, because I think everyone learns things differently. Mhm. So there's no one best strategy of teaching anything. And in the classroom environment, over the years, I kind of started to understand student psychology from their emotions, like by looking at them, etc. over time. So I said, okay, let's go over this topic again. Let's try to find another. Let's give another example. Let's not move to the next subject. Let's stay here for a while, etc. Teaching this course online, it's difficult to do that, to do all this. Really, I don't get much feedback anyway. And even if you come to these online lectures, etc., most of the time I don't even see you. So I just see your names. So that's kind of difficult. But also it's a trap for you because it puts the responsibility on you. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is, because for this or that reason, when you cannot make it to if you miss a week or a couple of weeks, and then you can say, well, I can go back and catch up, etc. But then life always has its surprises, and then it can easily create a vicious cycle. So when I took the online course, I realized that. So this is putting too much responsibility on the student, actually. It doesn't look like that, but it is. So I said, I need to find a way that my students are on track. And then that's why I came up with a very straightforward structure, okay? So I want you to be able to establish a routine in this course, and I will explain what that routine is and why you need that. And if you do that, I think you will be fine. So let me actually, I prepared a short PowerPoint. So let me actually share that so that now I think you can see my screen now. I will ask if you can see my screen. Yeah.
We can see it.
You can see it, right? Okay, good. Thank you. So I'm not going to teach anything. I will just introduce the course, but I will also try to reflect still on your discussions and your own introductions, because I want to give you a sense of what this course will be like. But I wanted to start with this quotation that I like from Mark Twain. I don't think it really belongs to Mark Twain. I think Mark Twain is quoting someone here, but it's not the point. The point is, he says, there are three kinds of lies: lies, damned lies, and statistics. I like this because, one, this course is called Introduction to Data Analysis course, but actually it's a statistics course. I think the name of the course is wrong. Because if you think about data analysis, there are different kinds of data analysis. There is quantitative data analysis, there is qualitative data analysis, there's archival data analysis. So data analysis can be anything, but this course is designed, the way that we are teaching at UNCG is a statistics course, so it's a quantitative data analysis. So and it means this is the equivalent of the courses that we call as Introduction to Statistics in other departments, in other courses, in other institutions. So, and that's one. But two, for various reasons, and I will talk about it in a while, but this is, I know for a fact that this is not the course that most of our sociology students are dying to take. So you're not saying, oh, my favorite course is statistics. I want to take this. That's why I became a sociologist. In my experience, although there are some students like that once in a while, in my experience, this is the course that the students are more nervous about. It creates lots of anxiety. And many of our students are taking this course only because it's mandatory. right? So, I'm actually aware of this. So it's not a it's not a surprising fact for me, because I receive this kind of emails once in a while. Let me show you something. So this is an email that I received recently. So this is saying, hi, greetings. So my name is this. I'm a doctoral candidate at the University of North Texas. So this is an opportunity to pass along to your students. This is a research opportunity. And this student is doing, this graduate student is writing a dissertation called A Validation of the Statistical Anxiety Scale. So there is a sociological phenomenon called statistical anxiety, okay? So what's statistical anxiety? This is the student's anxiety towards taking an introductory statistics course, like this course. So it's scientifically known that this course is one of the courses that creates the highest level of anxiety among students, and scientists are actually studying that. So why is that? And then they created different scales to measure that. And this student is kind of saying, well, I'm going to replicate the study. I will work on some validity and reliability indices, etc. Can you help me to do this? And etc. So what I'm trying to say is, I know that there is some concern about taking these courses, but then I will assure you, you don't need to be nervous about it. You don't need to have anxiety. You're in safe hands, but you need to take what I'm going to say today very seriously. Okay, so I know, going back to the some of the things. Um, I know that one of the reasons why students are experiencing anxiety in this course is because of their math backgrounds. Okay, so they're not 100% sure that they have enough math background to do statistics, advanced data analyses, etc. They say usually statistics and math is they're not my strong suits. Some of you already wrote this in the discussions, which I'm so glad to see. Some of you have already taken some statistics courses with some good experiences or quite bad experiences. So some of you took these courses and already forgot about what they were. Okay, so some of these things will be a refresher for you. You will say, oh, I remember all these. But for some of you, it will be the first time you are seeing all these. Now, one of my rules in this class, and this is important, I will assume that you do not know anything about statistics and mathematics right now. Okay? That's on me. I will assume that you don't know anything. You don't know what statistics is, you have never taken a course, and you don't have any math background. Okay? Now, and step by step, we will come to the point that you will be doing advanced data analysis much better than most students. Okay, so you will be at a very good level. You will not only pass this class, but you will also be very confident in statistics and data analysis. So that's on me. I will try to do that. But we need to make a deal. Okay, so you need to do a couple of things that I'm going to say, and I will explain. This routine that I'm going to explain. You need to follow that. This is not a course that you can easily do without having an established routine. And the only reason that I'm doing these Monday lectures, the only reason that I mean, there are two reasons actually, but the biggest reason is to give you a routine, a for some of you that needs this face-to-face interaction. Even if you want, maybe you will come here but won't ask any question, etc. I want to give you the opportunity so that every week you know that I will be here, you will be coming here, and it will give you this preparation for the week. So the next steps, what to do. Every week starts with these discussions, like my comments on the discussions on Mondays. And then everything you need in this course is on Canvas side. And I will go over that and I will explain. But the routine is quite simple. So after we go over the previous week's materials and we talk here, you will do the preparatory videos I uploaded on Canvas side. You will watch my lecture. My lectures are already, I recorded last year when I was teaching this course. I already recorded my lectures. So they will be on the Canvas side. So you will watch them based on your schedule, okay? But you will watch them sometime between Monday and Friday. You need to watch them. And because on Sunday nights, by Sunday nights, you have two deadlines. One of them is you need to go to the discussion board every week and tell me, you will write and share with your friends one of the things that you found interesting in this course, something interesting, something that you like. Or you can try to give some other example. You can say, hey, I thought about this kind of example. Does it fit into here? Or you can also maybe disagree with some things. And you can say, this point was confusing. I didn't really get this point. There was this kind of issue. It doesn't really make sense to me. Or you can ask some really questions. Like you said, there was this issue, but I don't know how this is happening. What about this? Why don't we do this, etc. So every week you need to participate in these online discussions by making a comment, telling something, sharing something that you liked, or asking a question, etc. And you need to reply to two of your friends' comments, okay? And replies, of course, you need to reply in a substantive way. Do not just say, yeah, that was a great point. So I mean, just try to say, if it's a great point, why that's a great point. If you think that, if there's a question, you can answer the question, okay? And you won't be graded if your answer is right or wrong there, okay? You will be graded on your participation. So I want you to participate. That's important, okay? So, every week I will be grading them. And grading is based on if you really do participate, share something substantively, you will get your points. So I'm not going to say, well, this point was lousy, so didn't you listen to my lecture, so half point or no. I won't do that, okay? But try to be sincere in making a comment, answering questions, etc. And then the same time, by Sunday nights, you don't have to do them on Sunday. You can do Saturday, Friday, anytime you want. But by Sunday night, you also need to do a weekly quiz. It's a weekly quiz, okay? For every week, based on the material you learned, there will be a quiz at the end of the week, okay? And this is a simple quiz. There will be nothing surprising. It's just to make sure that you understand the week's materials. And I will my quizzes will give you 2 attempts to do the quiz. The first time you do, okay, it will just ask very simple multiple choice questions or some other kinds of questions. And it will tell you, like, you did this is right, but these questions were wrong. So it will give you another opportunity to review the material, okay, for the questions that they are wrong. Then you will go over your notes or these lectures, etc., and try to say, aha, now I know it. And then you can take the quiz again. And the highest grade will be your grade, okay? And every week, and then because we are doing it, the discussions these quizzes are on Sunday nights. On Mondays, I will be here. I'll be reading the discussions, and I will be commenting on them. Okay, and I also will be commenting on the quizzes and etc. sometimes. And the next week will start. So these meetings, I will not be introducing something new, but I will be going over the previous week materials because maybe I'll realize that there is this kind of confusion over the materials, okay? So let me explain. Let me give you another example. Maybe on the discussions, I will see an interesting debate and I want to comment on the debate. It's really, instead of just typing it, I want to show the debate here, and then I want to comment here so that you understand. So also that will be the live section, because otherwise the course is already ready. I can just say, this is your course, go ahead. But I actually want to participate in that. I will read your discussions, and then I want to use this as an opportunity to comment on those. And that's why also, because the week starts every week, except for this week. This week, I'm just making an introduction. Because every week starts with a review of the previous week's materials, okay? And then it's going to introduce new materials. These quizzes are actually, and maybe the discussions too, but most of the quizzes, it will be mostly on the new materials, but also it will include some elements from the previous week too, because that's part of this features because I'm commenting on that. I'm saying, oh, they didn't understand this point. And then I will explain here so that I can also ask about it at the end of the week because you're learning about that right now. Okay, so it's something like this. It's very simple. And you won't have a midterm and you won't have a second midterm. Okay, every week, I don't know, 13, 14 weeks, we will start with like Monday lectures like this, discussions, and then it will end with the quizzes. And in the middle, you can arrange your schedule however you want. Okay, and you will be graded on the discussions and the quizzes. At the end of the semester, there will be a final exam, and the final exam will not be a surprise. It will be a review of everything you learned. It will be very similar to the quizzes you have already done. Okay, and it will be about the things we discussed. If you know me, I'm not going to ask you surprise. I'm not trying to surprise you. Okay, I will do my best to give you opportunities to learn these things and then to review the materials and then to comment on this. And I will assume that you don't know anything about them, and I'm sure every time, every week, we will be building on and then coming to the level that we want to come. We need to come. Now, one of the difficulties is if we were teaching this course, if I was teaching this course face to face, I would have a more flexible schedule. Meaning, sometimes I put the syllabus. I will go over the syllabus quickly too. But in the syllabus, every week there's something, and in the last 2 semesters when I was teaching this course online and half online, half face-to-face, etc., I finished the schedule, the syllabus exactly how I planned it, okay? But I don't have to. Meaning, if I realize that we need to spend on some issues more than others, why not? Let's do that. I mean, because I think the important part is I don't want to let anyone behind, okay? I want to finish this course by carrying everyone, okay? But then I need to have some feedback. I need to know what you are learning and what you are not learning, okay? If there are in the discussions or maybe in these kind of face-to-face interactions, not face-to-face, but online interactions, live interactions. If you have a question, now ask that question. Sometimes students do not ask the questions because they believe that they are the only one maybe to have that question. Everyone else got the point, but they didn't. That's not the case. If you have a question, I'm sure everyone has, but no one is able to ask. So I want some heroes in the class. Be the hero, ask that question, okay? No question is that. I mean, because I assume that you don't know anything about it, okay? So you can ask any question anytime. You can say, I really didn't get this point. Can you go over this again? My answer will be yes, let's go over that again. And I will try to find another way to explain it, or I will do it again. So that's fine. So that's why in the discussions or here or in the discussion forums, please let me know, okay, the things that you didn't understand. So if we do it this way, and because I assume that you don't know anything about this, you don't need to have this kind of anxiety that people are measuring. And I think my students will be an outlier in this scale, okay? You won't have, at the end of the semester, you will feel much better. And since we start, you will feel much better too. And this course will not be heavily math-based either. So I will introduce you the formulas, I will introduce you, I will explain the math behind it, but I will give more emphasis on the practical applications of statistics. So daily, I think you need this in your daily life. You don't know, but you are surrounded by statistics. Today I will try to explain why that is. And even if you are not going to use statistics, I mean, you will be using statistics, but even if you think that you won't be using them, okay, this data analysis, etc., there, it won't be helpful for you. I think this course will make sure that you understand that you need to protect yourselves against statistics. Okay, that's the first quotation. There are 3 kinds of lies, damp lies, and statistics, because you are surrounded with statistics. Politicians are making arguments using some statistics. Commercials are always making arguments using statistics. In every application, social media applications you use, you are surrounded by different kinds of statistics. And I want you to be able to, and it's easy to lie with statistics. Very simple. It's not that you just fabricate data. It's not that. I will show you that actually, if you torture the data, it will confess. Okay, it will tell you anything you want to hear. So, if statistics is bizarre because if you know these different strategies, the techniques, etc., you can make any kind of argument you want. Okay, so, but this is important because when someone makes you an argument, I want you to recognize what's wrong with it. I want you to be able to ask informed questions like, what about this? What about that? Okay, have you thought about that? Because there are two kinds of attitudes towards. If you don't really believe in data, etc., there are two kinds of attitudes. One of them is the cynical attitude. And the cynical attitude is you see someone makes an argument using statistics and you just don't believe it, okay? But why don't you believe it? I think they're lying. But why? I don't want you to be cynical. I want you to be critical. When someone gives you a statistical argument, okay, a data, a table, a graph, a number, okay, I want you to be able to tell what's wrong with it. Or I want you to be able to ask the right questions about that data. What about this? Have you done that? Do we know about this? Okay, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but I want you to be able to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Okay, so in this course, I will do my best that you understand this kind of different kind of strategies, different kinds of choices, etc. you have. Okay, so in English, we have a word for literacy. Literacy. We know how to read letters. We can read books. We can read articles. But we don't have a word like numeracy. Okay? Like how to read numbers, how to read tables, how to read graphs. Okay? We need that because this is a big skill. It's like a skill. It's an essential skill like literacy. Okay, so and we need to have that. Okay? So I'll now talk about a couple of things that might be helpful for you to understand what's why you may need this course. So I will just try to give some examples about how data analysis and statistics are being used in these days. So I will start with an example, a target example. So I mean, Target, is selling all kinds of stuff, and sometimes they send you coupons too. So if they have a certain sale or I don't know a promotion, and they target they target their customers. Okay, they don't simply sell sends the same kind of coupons to everyone. And Target very recently hired data analysts, statisticians, to analyze the data that they have. And their data is about every time that you purchase something from Target, if you use your credit cards, etc. Actually, they store the information and say, oh, this person is buying this and this and this and this. And it's kind of, there are all of these ethical issues actually about it. And not only Target, all of these supermarkets and etc. They're all doing it. But they have all of this information about your consumption habits. Okay, and the role of these data analysts, the recent data analysts that they hired, was to produce a pregnancy prediction model. Pregnancy prediction model. The question is this: they taught this data analyst to say, okay, we want to see which of our customers are pregnant. Okay, but they need to do it in a wise way. I mean, one way to do it, are you buying any pregnancy tests and etc., then you're pregnant. But that's not the clever way. The clever way to do it is to look at and this data analyst, they did it. They tried to do this in a way that they looked at the changes in your consumption habits. Okay, because if a female is pregnant, then there are certain behavioral changes. For instance, they cannot use the same kind of perfumes anymore. Okay, so they will be sensitive to certain kinds of smells and etc. So if you know the kind of things, you can try to create a model by saying this person might be pregnant because see, she's no longer buying this and this and this, but she's buying this and this and this. Okay, something like that. So they created a pregnancy prediction model. So, and they are just doing it so that they can send coupons to buy cribs and other kinds of things, okay, in advance. Okay, so they want to beat the competition. So anyway, so I'll read you an article from New York Times. So it says, after a year, about a year after Target created its pregnancy prediction model, a man walked into a Target outside Minneapolis and demanded to see the manager. He was clutching coupons that had been sent to his daughter, and he was very angry. Okay, so my daughter got this in the mail, he said. She's still in high school. And are you sending her coupons for baby clothes and cribs? Are you trying to encourage her to get pregnant? So the manager, of course, he apologized and then called a couple of days after, later again to apologize once again. On the phone, though, this time the father was somewhat abashed. I had a talk with my daughter, he said. It turns out that there's been some activities in my house I haven't been completely aware of. She's due in August. Okay. Now, if you read the story from some other newspapers, the story is even more complicated because there is this issue that the daughter says she also didn't know she was pregnant. She was not sure if she was pregnant or not. Okay, so then the question is, the father doesn't know, the daughter doesn't know. How does Target know? Okay, that someone is pregnant. So in the 21st century, we are surrounded by these kind of things. We are living in an era of big data, and all of the companies and different, like, not only the companies but organizations like political organizations, commercial organizations that we are interacting with. Okay, the states, supermarkets, social media applications, etc. They're always collecting data, and they are actually predicting things about your behaviors, about your attitudes, about your tastes. This is happening all the time. Like, I mean, I watch Netflix to see, and Netflix as a recommendation engine is using a statistical model at the background, and is saying, oh, you it recommends me a movie, says there's 98% chance that you will like this movie. Okay, so, and I say, I hate that actor, I hate that actress, and I don't like that director, I won't like this movie. And then once in a while I say, because I keep seeing that movie, I say, okay, let me watch it, there's nothing better I can do. And then I watch it and I say, it was not bad, right? It was a good movie, actually. So the recommendation engine was not very good several years ago. Now it's much better. But then the question is, how does Netflix know, okay, what I will like? Hmm? Of course, it's collecting the data from all of the users, and it's creating all of these algorithms inside. It's saying these users like this, and they have similar tastes. So this user is more likely like these kind of movies than these ones. Okay, so several years ago, they made a Netflix algorithm competition, something like this. They said it was an open competition for something like $1 million. They said, if you can improve our recommendation engine, like 0.01%, something like this, very tiny improvement, okay? For any model that will improve us, we will give you $1 million, something like that. And of course, like lots of statisticians and all over the world participated in that. So they get a sample data. So they try to create better models. And the best, the winner team was like other teams. It was a team, it was a global team, like people from Australia, United States, like London, China, Japan. So they had this joint team, and then they come up with a model and they slightly improved the engine, and it's now doing better predictions, I think. So, but how is this possible? In this course, I will show you these kind of things are possible. And actually, we will be doing, if we have time, I will be showing you how to do a very simple elementary version of these when we come to the regression analysis part, okay? So all the time, when you buy something from Amazon, when they say, well, why don't you buy these kind of things? Or sometimes when Twitter suggests you certain tweets and etc., there are always some data at the background. Instagram is using it, Facebook is using it, and I don't know if you followed, but 4 years ago, um, during Donald Trump's election, it was a big thing, the Facebook's involvement in this, and then how did they target audience, except the social media, Cambridge Analytica. There was a data analysis company linked with all these, and it was a big thing. So you can ask, what has politics to have to do with social media and statistics? It was a big thing at the time, and still it is. So it has some ethical issues, but it has all of these issues. So in this course, I will explain what's going on. Okay, so I will show you why these are important and what is happening, what kind of statistical models are being used, and the predictions they can make, and also their limitations. Okay, we will be talking about the limitations of all of these models. Let me show you another example. This example is from a commercial. So this was, I don't know if you can see on my screen, this is a Verizon Wireless commercial. And in this first map, Verizon made this advertisement saying that we have 5 times more 3G coverage. And if you look at the map on the left, you can see that Verizon Wireless, like everywhere is like full of dots, so it's covering almost everyone, like, or every territory. And AT&T on the right side of the map is not doing that great. So they have 5 times more 3G coverage than their competitors. And then right after this, AT&T made this commercial. They said AT&T covers more than 99% of America. And then like everyone, everywhere of the United States map is full of dots. So they're covering everyone, okay? So now, what if I told you that this AT&T map that you see in Verizon commercial, that's terrible, and this AT&T map that is used by the AT&T commercial, they're using the same data. It's the same data. It's the same numbers. And none of them are lying. They are not cheating. How is that possible? Okay. Now, we will talk about that. It's possible. It's simple. I mean, it's a trick. And actually, we will be talking about that this week, right now. So I'm not going to explain it right now, but when you watch my video that I uploaded, and you will see it already. And I will explain it with certain concepts. And we can also talk about, if you would be interested next week, I can give you several more examples about this, how this is possible. Okay, so, but the important part is this: when you know statistics, when you have some data literacy, okay, when you know how to read the graphs and the tables, when you know the statistical techniques and tricks, okay, you won't be deceived by these kind of commercials. When you see, you will understand. But if you don't know them, it's very easy to be deceived by either company. Okay, so that's why I find this course more like an empowering course. Okay, I hope it will empower you to make more critical take on the data you see, and for the graphs and the tables and for other kind of statistical arguments. And I want you to, I think it will help you to become more empowered people, more empowered citizens or individuals. Okay, so I think that's why this is important. So we will come back to this map later. So now I will give you another example. Here on my screen, you see that there's the name of one company called Gallup. Do you know what Gallup does? Have you heard of Gallup before?
I haven't.
So what's that? You haven't, okay. So Gallup is a poll company. is doing opinion polls and surveys, okay? And they are very famous for, I mean, they do all kinds of polls, attitude surveys, etc., behavioral attitude surveys. But let's say if there's an election coming, they are the best agency to predict the election results, okay, before the election takes place. They make those kinds of polls. Who will be the next president? Who will be the next, like, governor in the city or in the United States, etc. What's interesting is, let's say if you're talking about United States of America, like there are more than 300 million people living in United States of America, and hundreds of millions of people are like participated in elections. To predict the behavior, political behavior of these hundreds of millions of people, okay, how many people do you think Gallup talks to? They interview people, they talk, they give a survey, okay? To predict the voting behavior of hundreds of millions of people, you don't need more than 1,500 people. 1,000 is, I think, enough. And how is that possible? Isn't it weird? Like, you talk to like 1,000 people and then you kind of come to a conclusion about hundreds of millions of people. Isn't it weird? Isn't it bizarre? So there are two things you need to understand, and I will show it in this course. One, yes, you can do that. There is an art and science of doing this, okay? So this is called inferential statistics. We will be learning about it. So, and you will understand. And also you will understand the potential problems with it, the limitations and potential errors about these kind of predictions, okay? So, so in this course, I will do my best to introduce those as well. So, and one of these interesting things is also, if you're talking about elections, so it will help you to read the graphs and tables. This course will better than many people. And also I'm talking about people who are in the media, who are commenting on like these polls and stuff. So when I was teaching this course, like, I mean, as I said, I have been teaching this course for a long time, but when during the presidential elections between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, so I was teaching this course also. And at the time, of course, the overwhelming majority of the polls, they were saying Clinton is going to win, and then and like we examined with my students all existing polls at the time, okay, all of them, day by day, and then I showed them how they should be interpreting the results, and then they applied it in their homeworks and etc. And before the elections took place, we already knew it, that actually there will be a tie. It will be very close. Okay, so, and they couldn't believe. They were saying, how can you say it's close? Because we know that Clinton, like everyone talks about it, like and then I said, no, they don't know. They don't know how to read the data. They really don't know. They just look at the figure, but they don't know how to interpret this. Let's do this. Let's apply this method. Let's do this. And when Donald Trump won by a margin, so it was not a surprise to us in the class. The same thing happened also this previous semester too. We examined the results, and we already knew that there will be a tie. It will be very close to each other. And some of the discussions you will see in the videos, because I'll be uploading the videos from the previous semester, so you can see how things will be proceeding. 2 years ago too, during the elections 2 years ago, we took a case, Florida, and we examined the electoral polls in Florida, and all polls, all of them, they predicted one candidate to win, but we could already see that there's still a tie here. The other candidate has equal chance of winning, and the other candidate won actually. So, and people usually sometimes in the students keep asking me, so how did you know that? How did you know that? And etc. And I said, it's not, it's, it's not difficult. All you need to know is how to read the data. And trust me, even people who comment on these kind of things, they don't know how to read the data. They don't know. It's very simple. And it's not simply, they just look at this number. They look at the number and they believe that, okay, I see the 47%, 41%, the other is winning. You cannot read the number like that. Like you need to do more than this. And in this course, I will explain you why you need to do more, but this is a simple method, but you need to apply those kind of methods to interpret this, to understand what's going on, okay? So I think one of the aims of this course is to make you a more informed person as well. To when you watch a commercial, when you see an argument, when you read something in the media. So that's what I'm going to try to do in this course. Okay, and also I will show you about the limits, the limitations of statistical analysis. Okay, so it's not that you are able to predict everything. Okay. There are certain limitations of these methods, and I will make sure that you know all of these limitations and when they apply. The biggest, I think, evidence of these kind of limitations was that almost nobody predicted the 2007, 8, 9 financial crisis. And I'm more thinking about the people in Wall Street, because people in Wall Street, one, they are the greatest brain power of the world, okay? They're very smart. They know all of these techniques, okay? They are the greatest statisticians, and they have all data, all financial data. They produce the data, so they have everything. And not only they have the skills and they have the data, but they also have a huge personal motivation, because if a crisis is coming and if you can predict it, that's the time to be rich, okay? So that's the time to be billionaires, okay? You can capitalize on any kind of crisis if you see it's coming before anyone else. They have the motivation, they have the money, they have the data, they have the brain power. Nobody could see it coming. Why? In this course, I will be talking about that, because what are the limitations of these strategies? Some of these limitations we might overcome, but some of them are structural. Okay, so I will make sure that you understand all of these limitations, etc. too. And this is the end of my introduction. Then I'll just go over the syllabus a little bit, and then I'm done. And usually these Monday lectures, it won't be that long, but today, because I'm just introducing this, I just take my time. And statistics, if you watch the last week's preparatory videos, there were some videos about statistics, or what it is, how it is defined, and people are commenting on what data analysis and statistics is. And usually it is defined as a set of procedures used by social scientists to organize, summarize, and communicate information. I think this is not a very good definition for several reasons. I will talk about it this week. The video that you will watch, I already comment on these kind of things too. But I think one of the problems is statistics is more than a set of procedures. And this is not simply a technical math-based course, okay? So usually if you ask me, it's difficult to talk about statistics without talking about its history, politics, and philosophy behind it. And in none of the statistics courses, people talk about history, politics, and philosophy, okay, of statistics. It's very rare. And in this course, I don't have the space to do this either. But from time to time, I will be talking about it. And especially on these Monday lectures, etc., these discussions, I will be talking about it. But one of the reasons why this is important is because you are sociologists. And in sociology courses, so far, think about any topic that you are interested in, okay? In every topic that we study, there are different perspectives, right? There's perspective A, there's perspective B, there are clashing views, there are some debates. But think about the statistics course. What's your view on statistics? Do you think there will be different theories, different perspectives, different paradigms, different debates about, oh, are we going to do this or that and how? So like these kind of debates, usually people believe that statistics is not like that. There is like one mathematical fact and you will learn it. There's a procedure, you will just apply that. I think that's nonsense. Statistics is like other subjects in sociology. So there are debates, there are theories, but for some reason, we are not teaching you any of those. Your textbooks are not teaching you any of those, and none of the textbooks are talking about it. They are trying to teach it as a, like really as if there are these procedures, mathematical models, and apply this, apply that. I don't think it works, and I don't think it will help you to understand what's going on. I don't think this kind of teaching will make you more critically minded individuals. So I will be talking about from time to time the different um, philosophical, political, historical debates of this evolving science. It's evolving. Many of the things I'm going to teach you in this course are um, uh, they are formulated between the late 19th century and early 20th century, and I think your granddaughters, etc., they won't be learning statistics as you are learning right now. None of them will be used at it because it's changing right now. So there are different revolutions in statistics as a science. The things we used to do, we no longer do. There are some kind of new methods and procedures we start applying, etc. So I will try to give you a sense of what are how this is changing and where it's going to as well. Okay, so that's what I will try to do in this course.